So you built an AI agent that can save you hours every week, and you share it with your coworkers, and they say, wow, this is valuable and saves me a lot of time. I want to have access to it. Have you talked to leadership about this? And then you pause and realize, oh wow, my side project needs to become something official. This means you have to work on pitching the idea, getting leadership buy-in, asking for a budget, and work on change management. These are all crucial skills for an MSL because this is how you will scale a solution from an individual level all the way up to a team level, which is highly impactful. The great news is that you're not just pitching an idea, you're pitching something that you've built and already works. Today, I'm going to show you how to package your AI project for executive approval. Welcome back to the Medical Affairs Lab. I'm Nandini Sabharwal, an MSL turned AI enthusiast. And in this episode, Getting Executive Buy-in and Change Management, we're going to work on getting your AI project the green light. Before we dive in, let's review episode 1 and 2. In episode 1, we worked on creating a scientific storyteller prompt. In episode 2, we transformed that prompt into an agent. Now we want to work on packaging that idea into a solution that will get leadership approval. Now, leadership doesn't care about the prompt that we build. They care about 3 things. 1, impact. What problem does this solve? 2, scale. How can we roll this out to the team? 3, risk. What could go wrong? You need to address each of these in your presentation. Now, let's use AI to help us work on that pitch. A few compliance guardrails. If your company provides you access to an enterprise license for a large language model, perfect, you are ready to rock and roll because the company's information is protected in that environment. If your company, however, does not provide an enterprise license, I think it's okay to use a public large language model for educational purposes, such as the storyteller prompt and the storyteller agent that we built in episode 1 and episode 2. You can also use generic use cases, such as doing a pre-call planning summary. You can ask the language model to create synthetic data for you. So, for example, provide me a list of 100 ATP names with fabricated addresses. Now all the data is synthetic, and what you can export that Excel file and then use it as a way to demo working with the data. And in this case, it's not tied to any of the company's any information or any patient-specific information or any healthcare provider's information. Now we're going to use ChatGPT to help us work on our presentation pitch deck. Here's what I'm going to tell it. You are a McKinsey consultant. Why? Because leadership teams are used to presentations from McKinsey consultants, so they're used to that particular format. You are pitching a storyteller agent to the MSL manager or director of field medical. The goal is to get their approval of a project. Give me a few versions of the presentation. The format and content is below, and here is the format that I've given it, slide by slide. Now, notice this is contextual knowledge, and I'm telling it what information I would like in each particular slide. It's going to be able to give me a better output versus me telling it to just create a pitch deck. Slide 1, give a title, an introduction, and a funny story on using AI. Slide 2 is our pain point slide. You state the current workflow and list out a few manual steps. Slide 3, highlight the agent capabilities. And slide 4 will show this is where we're going to put a link to the recording of the agent demo. Now, it's always helpful to have a backup of the recording. Of the best case scenario is to demo it in real time, but just be aware if you are demoing, doing screen sharing in real time and you have 5, 8 people in the meeting, it's going to use up all of your bandwidth and the agent will significantly slow down. On slide 5, here is your impact slide. create a chart on time saved from the manual work versus the agent workflow. And I have pasted the agent description below so it has a lot of context. Now let's see what ChatGPT has given us. It's giving us 3 different versions of the stories that are here. Story 1 is based on an efficiency and compliance standpoint. Version B is an engagement and insight. And then version C is pilot first or minimal viable product. So from those different angles, I like to see different versions of presentations to give me ideas of what to put in. And it kind of just give you a summary slide by slide. And I'll open up the first version of it. It is up. Here is the PowerPoint slide it has created. It's title 1, Storyteller Agent for Field Medical. It has these are just notes for myself. A AI joke that I've asked it summarize the pivotal study endpoints. It did, and then it confidently recommended my coffee as first line therapy. I think it's great to always start off a presentation with on a lighter note, or having an appropriate joke, or just sharing a really quick story before launching into the nitty gritty of the presentation. Here is the second slide on why this matters. It lists the current workflow. I think if you can, to pick this in a picture format instead, that's even better. For example, when I was giving a demo of pre-call planning and I showed what the pain points are, I just had a picture of me in my company car parked in a random parking lot with my iPad in front of me. This is a scenario where your main meeting was canceled last minute. You've already traveled far away to get there. And it's okay, what do you do now? You're on your iPad and you're trying to look up other HCPs around the area, but then you don't have proper data. So then you're kind of stuck. But what if we had an agent that can just help us plan this really quickly within minutes? Moving on to the other slides. Here is a slide on the listing the basic capabilities of the agent. So it does the patient journey stories, the advisory board style personas, and then it has a discussion guides and user prompts to start the conversation. It's just put in a slide there for the demo part of it. And then the last slide will show the impact or the value slide, where it's going to show you can do something simple as just a bar graph showing you the time that it took for the manual process of the workflow, and then the time that you save when you're using an AI agent, for example. The language model to help me create a draft presentation. And then from here, I'm going to go in and start refining it myself. So that is in itself saves me a lot of time even working on the presentation. And I think this is a pretty good starting point for a pitch deck. For that last slide, I highly recommend that you stress the quantitative impact. Leadership can ask, well, what does this mean for the rest of the team? Well, you can start with some rough estimates, and you can say, well, here's how I have tracked my agent over the impact over the past week. Let's say my average HCP prep time is 45 minutes. When I use the agent, I can reduce that time to 15 minutes. Now for the week, let's say I can prepare 4 meetings per week. With the time that I save from the agent, I can now do 8, I can prepare for 8 HCP meetings per week. That's doubling my output. Now let's apply this to the rest of the team. For a team of 50 MSLs, let's say the average HCP meeting preparation is 5 per week, and it takes 45 minutes of prep time. That's 187 hours of prep time per week for a team of 50 MSLs. Now let's just do some really rough conversion of a labor cost. The hour paid for an MSL is somewhere between $80 to $90. That 187 hours of labor cost translates to about $15,000. That time can be spent doing more quality work. The cost, to pay for an MSL per hour can easily be recuperated to pay for a enterprise license. Now, I'm not saying that for the team, you're gonna achieve 100% adoption, maybe even with 50% adoption, you're still talking about a lot of savings over time. Now, the last question you have to address is what could go wrong? Here's one answer that you can give. Well, I need a small team to pilot some use cases. We can meet with the compliance team and then review what we can or cannot do and develop mitigation steps. In addition, we will update the leadership team on our progress. Congratulations, you've now got the green light from the leadership team. Now, on to another important part, change management. Here's how you drive adoption. And this is one way of going about it. 1, develop a champions program. Find the AI early adopters on your team and form a smaller team. This small team will help you test AI features, develop agents, and develop an educational plan for the rest of the team. Because you're just one person. You're not going to be able to educate the whole entire team. With a smaller team, meet with them either weekly or bi-weekly, and then provide them with updates and guidance. When you are building agents, I highly recommend for you to hold either 2 to 3 one-on-one feedback sessions to get feedback and how to iterate and refine on the agent. You want to build something that's going to be very valuable for the rest of the team. This is a lot of work and it will take a lot of time. So you want to make sure that you're able to still keep up with your day job and use a portion of your time to devote to this work. Remember, you can use AI to help you each step of the way. Step 2, doing training that doesn't suck. Nobody wants to sit through and listen to another 60-minute long presentation on watching you put in prompts and then seeing what the LLM spits out. They're just not going to learn that skill. You learn it by just doing it. So create these really short 15-20 minute bite-sized segments on a team call, and you show them, here's how I use it. Show them how you can do fun things with it. Here's how I can build, think of team building activities, gift ideas for the team. Here's just to have quick weekly updates on things that I've missed while I was out on PTO. Showing practical things for our next sessions. Here's what we can cover. Bring your next ACP meeting and we'll work on prepping it together. When leadership sees the value of your AI team, they're going to ask you to build more, and you're going to be the flagship of your organization. Now you're on to being the person who's going to work on AI solutions for the enterprise. Here's my challenge to you. Start building on these AI skills. Track your results. Find the other AI enthusiasts in your company and collaborate with them, work on ideas together. AI isn't going to replace MSLs. It's just going to unlock what we've already been capable of. Using the time to improve the quality of our interaction, having better scientific conversations, and being able to work on projects where we can have more higher impact. I know you've got this. Now go build something that you are passionate about.